guys. So my name is Sarah Hathaway, and something I love to talk about is self-defense, something I do every day of my life. So I'm here to talk to you guys about that. I am the author of the Changing Earth series. It's a fictional series that I wrote for fun, and then it took off, and everybody loves the story, so they keep going, and eventually I'm going to bring the series to an end. We'll get there. I also am the host of the Changing Earth podcast. So, Sarah F. Hathaway, I grew up country. I grew up shooting bows, shooting rifles, trap shooting, grandpa, gardening, shooting 12 gauges and stuff like that. So I was always an athlete. I like to play ice hockey. I like to do lots of things. Growing up, softball, kinds of stuff. Mom wouldn't put me in martial arts because I was too rough. I was always in the penalty box in ice hockey, and she didn't approve of that. So I finally started training on my own in 2002. I started with Kuksul Wan. It's a Korean style. And then I advanced into Taekwondo because I had Olympic dreams. I ended up having a family, realized that was going to take a lot of my time. So I don't want to do that anymore. But I train 5 nights a week, sometimes 6 if my instructor has his way. I just live there on a cot in the back. So that's basically my life is training. I love it. I'm always bruised and a mess, but it helps me teach other people how to defend themselves. And my goal in life, if I can just save one life, if somebody can have a better day because of something that I taught them, survive one disaster, get through just breathing a little bit easier because of something that I taught them, what an honor. It's worth more than any amount of money you could give me. So that's kind of my mission in life. So currently I'm working to get my 3rd degree black belt, and I just like to train, so I didn't like to test a whole lot, and my instructor is now forcing me to test so I can start opening my own school, coaching others to take them to the Olympics and things like that. So he's like, okay, you've been training, you need to start testing. So years and years of training and doing that. He also forced me to do jujitsu, which is ground game, so we're gonna get into that. Adrenal stress. So we talked about this yesterday in the medical class where it's performance under pressure, right? So adrenal stress is what I'm feeling right now as I talk to you because I'm up in front of a group. Adrenal stress is not something that you can mimic with exercise. So a lot of people, when they're out on the shooting range, they're like, oh, we're going to run between, each station to get our adrenal stress up to shoot. That's not what's happening. You're increasing your physical stress. It is still a challenge. It's still a great exercise. However, it's not dealing with adrenal stress. Adrenal stress is purely performance-based. So it's what you feel when you got to talk in front of people. It's what you feel when your instructor asks you to do your whole form in front of the whole school. It's that moment where you're like, oh my gosh. When we walked into the rooms and those bodies are down and we're going, oh my gosh, what do we do? That's your adrenal stress. So you have to practice coping with adrenal stress. A great way to do this is find a larger opponent than yourself and have them put on gloves and whack the hell out of you. Okay, you're going to be having to dodge and move and be freaked out, and you're just going to go crazy in your head. It's going to be scary. It's going to be frightening. And you're going to learn how to deal with that. So that way, when you meet an opponent on the street and they come after you, you're already able to move and dodge, and you know what it's like to be overwhelmed. Your comfort zone will increase. Trust me, because there's a lot of people that are a lot bigger than me, and this happens to me all the time. So, and your ability to escape will increase. You'll be able to learn how to move without pulling a hamstring, right? I mean, there's times you just are ducking and moving, and your body's like, whoa, what are you doing? So you got to practice. So in real life situations, you're going to be less likely to panic. This is why we spar in martial arts. It's all about self-defense. So every time you can practice a fighting situation, you're going to be calmer when you go into a real life fighting situation. And that's why we do it. So another activity that you can do, I gave you all a piece of paper. We're not going to use them yet, but I just want you to check them out. So at your home, if you have family members or whatever, you can have them jump out in front of you with the piece of paper, right? And you're like, oh my God! Well, then you hit that piece of paper with your 2 fingers as fast as hard as you can. And it teaches you how to react when somebody's jumping out at you super fast. And that increases your adrenal stress. Another way to increase your adrenal stress, because I wondered, on the shooting range, how can I increase my adrenal stress? It's not like I can have somebody shooting at me, okay? Right? So James, yeah, right. Yeah, so James Yeager, he runs tactical shooting in Tennessee. He's like, go ahead and turn your cell phone on to a live Facebook feed. And live Facebook feed your shooting. Everybody can see any mistake you make then. Okay, it's like standing on a scale in public, right? You know, that's going to increase your adrenal stress. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to screw up. Everybody's going to see it. So the paper exercise, great way. Have somebody in your household jump out at you with the paper, and you'll probably, you know, be pissed off the first, what are you doing, you know, but it's a great exercise. Right, yeah, boop. Yeah, that's what we're learning to do, basically. So that's a couple ways we can practice with adrenal stress.